Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Magic Arena Run. There's a few more days left in the historic Brawl event. Yeah, I already claimed my prize and all that, but I figured we're not gonna I don't know if we're gonna get historic Brawl as a permanent queue. They haven't quite announced it yet, so I'm gonna try at least one more deck. No, there weren't any suggestions that came along my way, so I figured I'd try one of my own. So this one kind of had it coming for a while. So this is Liliana Tribal, aka every Liliana Planeswalker that did not hit the Planeswalker deck that I could get my hands on. So headlining this one is Liliana Death's Majesty from Amonkhet. So pretty good. Most importantly, I find myself using her middle ability quite a lot. Never mind if it's a zombie or not. But the important part is I buy back one of my zombies, and it's quite important because this is quite an attrition deck, if I may say so myself. So there are some Graveyard synergies. Stitcher Supplier, Mara Triton, Dread Wanderer is a cheap discard. Otherwise, a lot of the Tattered Mummy, this one's from the one with the intro deck. Miasmic Mummy, that one also helps fill up the yard a bit. But otherwise, it's literally about there's also Rotting Regisaur. But it's really about just slamming zombies, trying to get the beat on slower, more control-y Planeswalker-ish decks. There is quite a bit of removal if we need to, though the removal we have is a bit premium. Well, the cheapest one we have is Bloodchief's Thirst, but other than that, it's Bloodchief's Thirst, Liliana's Triumph, Soul Shatter. Most of the time, the weakness of this deck would be anything with Indestructible. So sacrifice effects kind of work. Soul Shatter is probably one of the best. I also have a Plague Crafter for the early game. There's an Elspeth's Nightmare. Sometimes we just need to eat our opponent's graveyard. Murderous Rider, also zombie. Eat to Extinction, Extinction Event, always classic. Hagra Mauling's there too. But otherwise, everything else, if it doesn't have Liliana in her name, I try my best to tie it back. That's why Josu Vest is in there. We have Liliana's Reaver and Liliana's Devotee and Liliana's Standard Bearer. There's also one mana Liliana that kind of acts like a Duress. I did not slip him in. Let's see what else. Liliana's Mastery, of course. Then that's pretty much it. That's all the good Liliana's cards I can think of that I can put in. And as far as reanimation goes, it's primarily Death's Majesty. We do have Eldest Reborn as a backup. God Eternal Bontu doing quite well. I originally had some of the artifacts that synergize with Choose a Creature type, but they seem to be wonky way of timings. Like I played a Herald's Horn, but it kind of cost me because it didn't recognize that God Eternal Bontu's cost dropped already, so I just auto passed my turn. Yeah, some weirdness here and there. But otherwise, we should be quite decent here. I also originally tried running a Field of the Dead as an extra, but I found that I really needed my black mana to mostly come in and tap. And it's not often that I got the extra zombies, and I haven't got a single extra zombie, so I didn't bother. Anyway, we'll give this a try. I've run this through a few games. That's how I learned to make some of the adjustments, and it's quite decent if I might say so myself. There is plenty of we have plenty of interaction in a sense, though the catch is we aren't exactly a fast deck. Like this one right now, this one scares me because I get to play Mara Triton and Liliana's Standard Bearer. I might need the Never because I might have to snipe this one. The Bloodchief's Thirst looks important too. Kind of scares me though, because if I don't hit the third land, all of this is stranded. I'm gonna mulligan this. Okay, this one's better, and let's see. This one's much better. We get third one Wanderer, turn 2 Mummy or Triton. Probably go with the Triton first. The Mummy can wait. Actually, no. What I can do is I can go for the Miasmic Mummy and hope our opponent has something. It'll depend on what card we draw. Stitcher Supplier. I might actually just discard the supplier at this point, because we don't need that much discard. We just need some. Actually, we don't need that much milk. Okay, there's an Ugin, so my opponent's not gonna cast that anytime soon. Opponent goes Agonizing Remorse. Probably takes Eternal Bond too, which really they're gonna take Bond too. There is no way they're taking Mar Triton. The fact that our opponent's thinking... No, I'm pretty sure they're going to take Bontu. I guess there's an argument for taking Mar Triton, but if it slows you down, it's not my fault. Also, I definitely have plans of snipe. Okay, they definitely take the Bontu. I'm gonna snipe our opponent's yard before they can get back. I think I could have waited. Now, my concern is our opponent could have like a Cry of the Carnarium. But I think pressure is more important. I doubt our opponent is more likely to have something like Deafening Clarion, but the mana doesn't quite support it yet. We'll see what our opponent's... Okay, the mana supports it now, so I might be in trouble. Yep, there's the Deafening Clarion. So, next turn we hit the Waker of the Dead. It's return, activate if you have one or fewer cards. No, we're gonna go with this Liliana first. We're gonna start hitting our opponent's hand.
You wish you had a fraction of my power.
Especially, we're gonna just start hitting our opponent's hand. We're also gonna hit our opponent's mana base. Opponent might have a 4 mana kill spell for this Liliana. I'm so tempted to put... Okay, going for the plains, goes for the fires. So they might go for this one on the cheap. If they have another land. Magrat's Rampage, sacks the Planeswalker, sure. But they're down to... Okay, so here's some things to consider. One, I could... Actually, what I can do is... Field of Ruin. Snipe the Triome. They probably have basics, so it doesn't hurt them that much. But yeah, that reminds me. I should have a feed this. I should put a feed this one. There's no reason not to. So opponent's down to 2 cards. One of them probably a land. It'll be a shock if it isn't. No, Tamio, Collector of Tales.
The moon looks intriguing tonight.
Return target card. Gets a land back, so in order to cast a Niv Mizzet. That makes sense. Opponent... What did they... They only hit the Teferi. Now, we can't cast this Liliana, but we can cast this Liliana. But what do we get back? Or we don't... I could just get back Mar Triton. That would be annoying enough. Though, the problem is, if I get it back... Actually, I don't mind. Let's just...
Ugh, the living are just so needy. I brought back an old friend.
So the question now is, are we dead to all these Planeswalkers? Yeah. I really need to find a slot for Feed the Swarm. Feed the Swarm, Farika's Libation, so probably cut the Playcrafter for that. Then I can... Okay, this Ghastly Gloom Hunter I put there, that's probably gonna go as well. That's how many... Yeah, they just reloaded. I do have an Elder Spell.
You're not scared of dogs, are you?
I do have an Elder Spell, but I don't know if I'm going to draw it in time. Also, this Dreadhorde General not gonna do much. Yeah. I need to hit Elder Spell, but if I don't hit it, it's kind of moot at this point. No, I hit Josephus. Yeah, let's concede now. We only have one Elder Spell. Niv Mizzet. We don't exactly have counters, but we do need to try to answer Fires of Invention. Our opponent's mana was kind of messed up a bit at that point. So we have to have a way to snipe that. So we're definitely putting Libation and Feed the Swarm in. I'm going to cut 2 cards for that. So let's make those changes. And we're going to cut some of the underperformers. I actually had that in the back of my mind, at least to Feed the Swarm, but we apparently need more. And chat, if we have a way to deal with, if Black had a way to deal with artifacts, I would definitely put that in too. But that's, so I don't like cutting creatures, but we probably should be cutting non-creatures instead. Like Elspeth's Nightmare is actually an underperformer here. I'm gonna actually probably cut the. Let's see. Gonna cut the Elspeth's Nightmare for, let's see, enchantment. So let's put that for Feed the Swarm. I will still cut the Ghastly Gloom Hunter because this one just really underperformed. Rather never got around to casting it. Then Fracas Libation. So it's okay, 1/1 cut. Oops, I didn't. You know what? Let's cut the Elspeth's Nightmare too. So what did I? 18 and 18. So no, I cut the. I think I might have cut something by mistake. No, Playcrafter is still there. Cut the Elspeth's Nightmare. Liliana's Devotee, Liliana's Standard Bearers, all there. Lord of the Curse there. Oh, I cut the Death Baron by mistake. Oh, that's a really bad mistake here. Hold on. Oh, Death Baron's there. It's just in the bottom. So what did I cut by mistake? Oh, you know what? I'll worry about it later. Definitely still keeping that Elder Spell as narrow as it is. And let's just go look for another game. Yeah, this is a keep. Opponent also kept 2. So put the Elspeth at 5. Hopefully I spelled that right. Turn 1 elves that we can't exactly. Yeah, this one's really for planeswalkers. Our opponent's playing Jund, so I'm expecting good stuff, but it might just be all good ramp. We do have a one-shot at E to Extinction, but we kind of need more help than that. Yeah, opponent's now at 4 mana. We do have some sweepers, but they're quite few and far between. I really didn't put some of the Tectonic Rift. Destroy a land. Really now? Land destruction? Such a monstrous deck could actually exist. Well, it's possible. It's also quite unfun. So it's a good thing I'm. So if you're trying to look up the person's name, now it's a good thing you can't look. You'll probably. Opponent is control. Yeah, so opponent is going to just go for land destruction. Good news is we're kind of drawing lands, and we're still hitting our opponent. Does it mean I want cheaper removal? Ravager Worm. Oh, it takes out the castle. Yeah, it takes out Castle Lock Lane. I can still swing with Tattered Mummy, that's the good news. Fire Action Tower. Alternate plan. Fire Action Tower, touched by undead. How many, it's the number of zombies you control, that's the caveat. Though I can go for Eat to Extinction. See if our opponent goes for it. Goes for the block. That's fine. That's opponent really aggressive in the land destruction. That's 3 spells. I'm pretty sure there's more, and the fact. Okay, opponent's now going ramp on the ramp route. Going to ramp towards this guy. So target non-basic. So did they kick? Yeah, they kick. So I have to decide if I want to sack the Death Baron to Eat to Extinction. I probably should. No, let's just let them resolve. There's an in case of emergency, so I'm gonna hold back that one. Yeah, so. Oh yeah, that was. Wow. So this guy's game plan is to be as unfun as possible. White Lot? No. That said, we just need to. That's okay. We just at this point we really need to hold up Blood Chief's turn. So that means. Okay, we hit the Mar Triton. So. Okay, that's actually. Those are actually good hits. I have to play this one as a land though. Opponent's gonna go for this big guy now. I need to. Can I afford to take the 4? I think I can afford to take the 4. Okay, yeah, but now I'm starting to miss lands. That's the problem. Hold on, what's this? Choose target permanent. Those. Okay. So that was the game plan. That's very mean. Okay. So sacking lands. And set the resolve. Get the land back, so I can't complain. I'm just gonna block this one, but yeah, opponent gets all their land destruction spells. So we are kind of on the slow end here. No, that one just slows it down. And now we'll hit the graveyard with this one. That was actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, that's a bit of a mistake. I probably should have waited for our opponent's attack step. Now I'm kind of forced to play this just to start getting some damage through. We will defeat the swarm. So what happens to it? Does it go to the bottom? Oh, it's just revealed, so it stays up top. So I can't kill that, unfortunately. Yeah, I'm gonna concede this one. That was a very horrible experience. It's quite legit, but yeah, it punished us for keeping a slow open. But yeah, that was quite horrible actually. So well, we did make some mistakes on that one. We should have waited for pre-combat. We should have waited for pre-combat before making our opponent dish that. ditch that one out. That would have saved us one turn. We might have gotten something down as a result. That was, yeah, that was. So, hold on. Yeah, removal. Very slow on this end though. Veto, Torn of the Dusk Rose. This one is probably, this one's quite aggro though, so I'm actually gonna keep this one. Because just based on our opponent's opener. So just need. Oh, he's not. So opponent is actually in discard. Well, we're not gonna let our opponent's gonna make us discard, but we're not gonna let our opponent benefit. Is that discard or mill actually? No, it's discard. So it's a battle of the mono black decks. Definitely not letting our opponent get the advantage there. Kinda wanna play this one next just to have something on board. Or, you know, just slow them down a bit. That's kind of... I figure opponent had that kind of... Well, I did not expect this deck at all. Okay, now there's the actual discard. We probably discard...
A mind is a terrific thing to waste.
Okay, did not hit that, so... I'm gonna play the Reaver, have something on board, force our opponent to interact. Eldest Reborn would be annoying. Yeah, it'll be annoying because they get to get their stuff first before we do. Having this triple copper. Yeah, that counts. Does our opponent go for the additional discard? No, they don't. Yeah, we're just short one mana, so I need to put some things. Ugh! Ooh, the lands. That hurt a bit. Tiny bones, but they. Okay, so if an opponent you draw a card, you lose a life. Okay. Actually might want that, so we'll discard Eldest Reborn. Because right now there are too many targets. Whenever an opponent draws a card, and I start taking damage now. Oh wait. Okay. So bring the Eldest Reborn. I feel bad losing the Liliana, but I think a board presence might be more important here. Let's see if our opponent double blocks. If they do, I actually snipe the tiny... Oh no, they're just trying to block. That's fine. Because if they did, I'd go for the tiny bones.
I don't think you'll be needing that.
So we'll probably cast the other Liliana. Opponent going... Veto's a weird choice. I probably would have made Tiny Bones the main choice. Hold on. How's the life gain? It's only a last ditch. That one's very weird. I would have pegged even Tavriel to be the spawn of Mayhem. Okay, then finally cast Veto. I guess that kind of their plan. Give this one lifelink. So okay. So definitely want Soul Shatter, though it probably just takes out one or the other. Do I want any more lands at this point? Probably not. Also need to check grave. Probably also don't want the Dreadhorde Invasion at this point. So if I were to cast Death's Majesty, I can get back Midnight Reaper to start drawing cards again, which actually helps us a bit.
The living are just so needy.
I'm going to attack with everything. No. Yeah, no, we know we're gonna lose one. But it's a shame we don't get to draw a card off that. But need to give something for our opponent to think about at least. Opponent definitely snipes this next turn. If we get one more land, we can actually just... Well, I'm actually hoping our opponent does play something big. Because right now it looks like our opponent just goes lifelink, swing with this. In fact, our opponent, though, if our opponent really wanted to, our opponent could have gone lifelink during their upkeep so that the 2 damage ping would have just come back here. That was one way to do it. And it goes for Liliana, their own Liliana Death's Majesty.
I have conquered death. As
They
I
can
will
bring back
conquer you.
Chupacabra. Yeah,
Nothing is ever truly
so that's
gone.
fine. I was kind of expecting that. Bad news now is Soul Shatter. Oh wait, no, it'll take out their Death's Majesty. That's fine.
I'm done here.
Okay. Expected. Need some life. So shatter now so our opponent doesn't get an activation. I could just keep swinging with these, I guess. I'm eventually gonna run out though. That's okay. And I need to check if you have 10 or less life. Okay, so this will start growing now. Next turn, my Miasmic Mummy. If they still have cards. If I get a land, I can actually replay Majesty again. Then say replay. Maybe replay the Midnight Reaper. I think this is the part where opponent actually starts paying for lifelink. Opponent needs to decide on this one. Actually, no. We'll just take. Opponent can just pay for this now. So I need to hit action. Ooh, yeah, something I should have considered. But Nightmare doesn't hit anything. There's a Hagra Mauling that I do want. So I actually want to hold these smaller ones back now. Or rather, well, using our graveyard hurts us. So I would like to draw one more mana, so at least I can save one creature before that goes. Probably get the Reaver back, because that's a big juicy enough target. Opponent will, of course, it becomes a problem if our opponent drops a big creature at this rate. Thoughtseize. Yeah, sure. Ooh, okay. Yeah, I did not see that one coming. Man, so far we couldn't get a good break. Even again, that one was a very good setup and all that. Yeah, we are quite vulnerable if we so was there any better way we could have used our removal? Actually, not quite. We had to use all that early. The problem is we never got a way around to Davriel. So far, we haven't been hitting what we needed. Maybe I could have kept one. Maybe I could have kept one land up as the next step, since I know I really want to cast Liliana again. So probably that was probably a mistake also. But yeah, I'm still okay. Now this one's gonna be a serious matchup. This one did a lot better when I had so. Guess it's fine. We just need to hit one more land. Just remember that this only takes out creatures. Actually, this might not have been a great keep because it's only about taking out creatures. I might even just discard. Well, I'm probably gonna discard this first. Okay, there we go. So kinda need to start hitting our opponent. Opponent forced to discard the Connive Concoct. And it goes Maze Mind Tome, so quite in control. Definitely want to play this first in case our opponent has. Well, it'll suck if our opponent has Cry of the Carnarium, but. No. But it's bound to happen sooner or later, and I'd rather save the Death Baron in that event. That actually makes Lord of the Cursed much, and Liliana's Devotee much better in that sense. No. Robber of the Ridge. Hit our fourth mana. I kinda like that we're actually that we're currently more aggro now. Opponent's gonna need to play 2 running spells. The Fabled Passage is bad because that tells us our opponent can crack this for the blue mana they need. I'm actually gonna just hold the field of. We'll let that resolve first. There's a good chance they have a black source or red. Oh, they went for it, eh? Since they went for that, I'm actually gonna pass. Since if I take this out, it just helps them get blue. I'm assuming they had the blue anyway. Okay, let that resolve. Draw 3 cards off Midnight Reaper. And draw 3 cards off Liliana Standard Bearer. I actually forgot our Devastation exists. So hold on, let's do some math here. I kind of want to save this because I can just try to buy back for the kill. I can play this one to make another zombie. Our opponent just is forced to Nicol Bolas. I actually kind of like that. The problem is it copies, so it could just copy her Sack 2 effect, which is not so great. I'm just gonna I'm just gonna play Bond 2. Give our opponent something to think about. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's just sack a swamp. Hope I don't read. Opponents probably sacks Maze Mind Tome. I think they're going to go straight just for Nicol Bolas. That was a very good hour of devastation if I did not have the Liliana standard bearer. At least we're able to refill our hand that way. Opponent's gonna go up to 9 life. So let's see. Draw a card. Each opponent exiles. I guess.
Witness a mote of my power.
Yeah, opponent concedes there. So at least we actually had that was actually a good run there. Our opponent did take quite a bit of their time. They didn't exactly do anything except play Robber of the Rich. So that's pretty much the advantage we're looking for. We're either looking for an opponent that's super aggro or an opponent that takes a while to set up. If our opponent gets somewhere in the middle or has plenty of interaction, yeah, we are in trouble in that way. Like that last black opponent. That last mono black, the veto opponent, that one took a while to set. Did not take that long to set up. Okay, we're definitely keeping this. Don't. If for some reason that that land destruction deck becomes a thing, I will consider. And actually, I don't want to play Miasmic Mummy now that I know we're essentially fueling Scarab God. So turn 3 Agadeem's Awakening Death Baron, or I could just do Midnight Reaper first. Let's see if I can segment. They're rushing to. Okay, they're rushing to that. So we'll do Midnight Reaper first. So. Depending on what they have, we might be able to draw a card. Then next turn we can do Awakening Awakening as a land, and what's that? The wow, that's a very small text. Undercrypt into Death Baron. 4 mana Midnight Drop. They're taking a while to set up, so I sure hope their first play is not just literally Scarab God. We have the Eldest. They're probably gonna surveil into something. So we have to. So we're gonna we definitely rush with that Baron. I don't like that idea. Well, we have 2 even, 2 odd. Problem is we. Okay, these. Oh wait, that was still an Awakening. That was a mistake. Oops, that was faulty. I was considering the possibility that I might have to buy something back. Opponent has 5 mana. Do they go for the Scarab God? No, they go for the Palaka Predation to probably snipe Eldest. If they snipe Awakening... No, they snipe Eldest Reborn because that takes out their Scarab God. They need a 2 mana kill spell. They don't have it. Hold on. Opponent might have a counter spell. Let's get it out of their hand. No counters.
I love what they've done to the place.
That was a good hit.
In low places.
Opponent has Heartless Act into Death Baron. Draws us a card. That is good. Okay, Dread Wanderer is good. Now we still have to feed the Swarm. That's the good news. We can also just opponent probably wants to take out the Liliana Death's Majesty as soon as possible. Somehow it's the more normal it's the more normal ones that I'm okay. Opponents, yeah, they had to play back-to-back tap. Opponent might have a discontinuity, so we'll swing first. Yeah, because this is discontinuity mana. I'm just gonna swing first. Hagra Mauling. Okay, that draws a card. That's fine. Liliana. That's great. So in fact, I'm actually gonna play this one now that only seems to be shields down. And plus, again, opponent really needs to hit the board right now.
Nothing is more loyal than the dead.
Another tap land, but I'm concerned our opponent might already have the board wipe. If they don't, we kind of win. Nope, we won. So opponent did not have the board wipe on time. That was kind of the setup we were looking for. Opponent played what? Turn 2 Signa, turn 3 Midnight Clock. Yeah, sometimes you don't get that draw, so that's also a problem. Maybe a good reason to ease up on some of the removal. In fact, we're kind of like what, only like half creep, like one third, and not in a good way. Are there? I should also. Okay, we're definitely keeping this. If our opponent is playing Emery, I am incentivized to hold Bajuka Bog. I can just play the Mar Triton first. So basically, I want to nuke our opponent's first self mill. In fact, this is definitely an artifact deck, but if we can nuke our opponent's first self mill, we stand a better chance. Yeah, I kind of like this, but I don't like it this early. And it's also probably gonna be the last game for this one. So, did the number. Opponent's taking their time making a decision. At least we have some interaction here. I don't. There is a Fleshbag Marauder. Wait, is Fleshbag Marauder in Jumpstart, or did that not make it? Hold on, let me take a look. Sets. Nope. Latest was Commander Legends, Shards of Alara, Magic Origins. Yeah, so no. Opponent really taking their time deciding, unless they've disconnected already. That would be a sad. We'll probably do one more if our opponent ends up DCing this one. Yeah, I would have loved Fleshbag Marauder here because it would be a zombie. It would be a much more palatable fit, but. Okay. Yes, I'm going to keep this. Okay, now this is just annoying. Is our opponent really there or nope? Opponent's there. Opponent plays it's a self-mill deck, so we hopefully we hit a few more cards so I can hold up the Bajuka Bog even longer. So let's see what kind. Our opponent definitely wants to play Stonecoil Serpent, so yeah, those are good hits, especially the Crucible. So please activate one more. Oh, that's a Sculpting Steel. You know what? Let's ruin our opponent's day. It's not over. Opponent can still self-mill the rest of the way, but I have multiple options now. I can actually just hold up for Murderous Rider. Opponent mills Lithiform Engine. Do they have the mana for it? Well, not quite yet. They still need to. Yep, there you go. I think our opponent was hoping for at least the turn 2 Stonecoil Serpent, but yeah, that was just a bit vulnerable to our deck. That was a bit of a weakness on that part. That's sometimes how the cookie crumbles. And you know what? Let's do one more. Don't know if we're gonna win this one, but that should be fine. So, how do I like this one? Could use Liliana of the Veil. Could use... No, I think that's asking a lot. Okay, but so this is a Tiny Bones deck. So this one's about making us discard. So we also hit our Lilianas, but we need to have early pressure. I guess it's just... I'm gonna go for the free mulligan. Yeah, we're definitely keeping this one because we have we have basically answers. I'm assuming if our opponent's deck is if the last, at least this one's honest, it's straight discard, no hiding behind veto. But if so, I definitely want to just play Liliana. Let's try it. Especially if our opponent makes us discard, I'll play Liliana's Triumph. So let's see what we lose. Probably one of the removal. Or the Plaguecrafter. We'll probably lose the Falmar Knight because that is card draw. Plaguecrafter's a bit weird. Eat to Extinction makes sense. If they especially have a creature that they want to preserve. Exiles a card. Yeah, we'll exile this. Also, Fenlurker, a bit of a non-bow with Tiny Bones because it exiles, is not a discard. Davriel is a good one though. But, yeah, I have to let that resolve. So we're gonna be forced to discard a card.
Much easier on my skin.
So I probably just discard the Plaguecrafter.
Let's tidy up in there.
So at least we are able to... Yeah, let's see if we hit the land, that's good. Nope, Miasmic Mummy, not a land. Also just signal that we're having... Did not expect that. Okay. I'll actually play the Midnight People now. Because I have no control over what gets discarded. Sitting with mana, hitting the Tiny Bones, so they're gonna start refilling it. We need that removal. We lost the Death Baron, that's a sad one. Okay, we hit the land now. So, Stitcher Supplier. Could have used that. Miasmic Mummy now that I am empty-handed. Opponent discards Grim Dancer. I'm willing to swing with this one. I'm willing to trade these two off. Opponent is probably not. So I really need one more mana, Death's Majesty. We get back the Death Baron. There is a Josu Vest that's also an option. Plaguecrafter is actually decent. We can sack the supplier, force them to give up something. They can make us lose 10 life now. So it will... And if we have no answer for this, we kind of lose at that. No, only going for Bontu. They didn't go for the 2-turn... They could have gotten us this turn and the next.
They've done with the place. Necromancy is an art.
Opponent might be going for the OTK though. That might be a thing. So I'm taking 5/7. Yeah, I think they got it. I should have held back one creature. That was a mistake. If they swing with everything, that's good game. if I'm pretty sure they know their Trinket Thief has another ability, right? Ooh, that's a mistake. Sure, I lose the Death Baron, but... Well, it's also possible our opponent has a way to ding us for 1 extra life. This is like, what, 5, 6, 7. So we go down to 11. That's pretty much a force block, so... Opponent needs to... Yeah, the pump is expected. So... But opponent also doesn't have the...
I won't go easy on you.
Oh, but opponent doesn't have the... Because our opponent saved it, they don't have the mana for it anymore. Okay, discard that one, that's fine. They actually go down to 7. So... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Death permeates this place.
It's possible we're dead anyway, no matter what. I have to swing it. I'm pretty sure our opponent has some sort of removal, but I have to swing it all anyway. Actually could hold back 1. Yeah, Heartless Act draws us a card. Cast down. Oh, it's just all removal. Okay, that was good. And Elder Spell on a matchup that doesn't have Planeswalkers. Yeah, I probably will just end up cutting the Elder Spell in the final build. So, but that's it for this episode now. Let's just make that cut right now. I really don't think it's a very good sideboard card, but it just does nothing otherwise. At least Farika's Libation can take out a creature. At least Feed the Swarm can take out a creature. At least it does something more mainstream. Elder Spell, it really doesn't. So we're gonna. So that one's gotta go. Let's see. Yeah, we need another creature. Let's put another zombie back in. Oh, actually forgot Crypt Breaker. There you go. Now that should be a better setup. Now, other considerations, like if I wanted to lower the curve, I could say cut Liliana's Reaver in favor of Eternal Taskmaster, which can bring zombies back, and it is 2/3, so it has decent stats. Unfortunately, Woe Strider I'd like to put in, not a zombie. Probably another consideration to put in though. There's some Silver Smoke Ghoul, but we don't exactly gain life on a regular basis. Trying to enters the battlefield, mill 2 cards. Well, it's probably better than the Tire Mummy at least hits our opponent a bit. There's Liliana's Elite for each creature card in your graveyard, but we kind of want to use it up, so not so much. Yeah, probably I can see an argument for reducing our curve. Like, what are the... But I really like all the 3 drops. Pretty much it's just Liliana's Reaver. That's... Well, it's a shame it has Liliana in the name, but it is one of the weaker ones. Argument could be, say, Graveyard Marshal, which is a 3/2 for 2. Also a classic. You know what? This might actually be the better choice. So there you go. So Elder Spell, Liliana's Reaver gone. Crypt Breaker in, and Graveyard Marshal in. That's it for this episode of the Magic Arena Run. If you like what you saw, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, turn on notifications and whatnot. I've done Chandra Tribal a long time ago. I'm doing Liliana Tribal now. Is there any Planeswalker you wish had more copies that we could do Tribal? I considered Nissa. It's a bit sad that Nissa will not be able to be the commander of her own deck because because 2 of her copies here are Sultai colored, I did consider an elemental deck at that point. But are there any others that you could think of? Maybe Gideon Tribal, though we only have 2 Gideons here. That's a shame. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you again next time. Take care, God bless. Stay safe wherever you are. Have a great day, everyone.